Pretty good. My crew was really good. Yeah. Yeah.
So on that note, I want to go back in time.
Yeah. Okay.
I want to go back in time. So go back to your martial art days.
Okay.
So you were a student of Yoriyuki Yasuzado.
Yeah.
So a couple questions related just to that.
Mm-hmm.
What did being his student do for you? What did you get out of being his student and the way he taught, how he taught? What things did you learn, I guess, you know?
Well, Yakuzato was, he was a teacher, but he was more of an observer, you know? Takafuji, we had one black belt named Takafuji,
Okay.
CEO Takafuji. And then we had another guy there, I can't remember his name now, but he was really he was kind of like a little gopher or something like that,
Okay.
you know? Well, Takafuji was actually the instructor.
Okay.
He was a mover, instructor. And that, and he was kind of, he was fast and he was powerful, but he wasn't tall. He wasn't short, but he wasn't tall, but he was powerful and he was quick.
Okay.
And Takafuji had to be, I would think, in his 40s,
Okay.
maybe mid 40s, late 40s.
Okay.
But anyway, with him and like I said, Sensei would always be there. He'd always sit on the side,
Yep.
and he'd watch different karatekas.
Interesting.
He was watching how we move, how Takafuji taught.
Interesting. Okay.
And he was actually grading Takafuji as he graded us.
Interesting.
He was definitely, I guess he was feeling him out for the next higher belt, maybe for him.
Gotcha.
Because Takafuji, I think at the time was go down.
Okay.
I think he was go down, 5th degree.
Yep.
And anytime we got into takedown moves, stuff like that, a few takedown moves I showed you guys.
Yep.
Every time we got into takedown moves, it was 1, 2, 3, 5 Americans, 4 Japanese in the class on the base.
Okay.
Of course, down in town, mainly all Japanese, because me and one other guy were the only 2 guys that ever go down there. See?
Really? Okay.
Yeah, we the only ones who went down there. Nobody else would go down there.
Okay.
But anyway, Takafuji, whenever he wants to show you how to take down, he always grab American. Come here. and we always stand up and say, yeah, he wants to grab us because he want to beat us. And I mean, he slammed you. Bam! He slammed you hard on the deck, right? And he had this big smile, and his whole mouth was full of gold.
Really?
Oh man, his mouth was just gleaming with gold. And he wasn't an old guy, and he wasn't a bad-looking guy.
Yeah.
But he wasn't old. He was just, I don't know what the deal was with all the gold he had in his mouth, but he had a lot of gold in his mouth.
How about that?
But anyway, but every time he wanted to do a demo, he'd grab an American guy. He wouldn't demo with a Japanese guy. And we used to
insight, right?
Yeah.
You learn right? Insight.
And I asked the guy one time, I said, why do you always use us? One other guy said, well, the guy that had been there a long time, he'd been there long before I was. He said, yeah, he does that all the time, the Americans. I said, you only use Americans? Yeah, he never took any Japanese guys around like that. I said, so every time he get ready to go to the demo, I always move that back to the back. I said, no, I'm not going to do that. So I come around, yeah, he demoed with me quite a few times.
How about that?
Oh, yeah. So I say, I'll be your guinea pig. Come on, let's go. And I was taught some of the things on how to a defense against that, how he moves, because he was telling me how to defend against it, And then a couple of times when I defended myself against the throw, and he was always good and smooth with his throws.
Yeah.
But when he couldn't get me down this one time, and he kind of got a little mad.
Yeah.
Because he couldn't get his clean sweep on me, right?
Yep.
So, okay, well, that's what I'm supposed to do. I'm supposed to stop you from throwing me, So why are you getting mad at me? I'm learning, So, yeah.
Now, looking back as taking this karate class, whether it was on the base or off the base, what were you, other than getting a belt or whatever, why did you keep going back? What were you getting out of this karate class?
That's what I was getting out of it was the fact that I wanted to be, number one, I wanted to be a part of that organization. I wanted to be part of what the culture that they were they were bringing. You know,
Okay.
I wanted to really get into it, deep into it, with them and with the old man. We used to call him the old man. With the old man, they try to talk with him sometimes, you know, and he would talk to you a little bit. But he never spoke English anyway.
Really?
And he would just Yoriko was his interpreter.
Okay.
His daughter was his interpreter. And I said, well, Sensei would say, yeah, I said, but Sensei don't like talk too much. Sensei like to look and check you out, you know, like, you know, and see how you're doing. Say, but Sensei knows, you know. And I say, yeah, he knows if you're a good student, a good potential leader, you know, good potential karateka, and if you're gonna use the Okinawan feelings and moves in the right way, so to speak. That's the way she put it.
Mm-hmm.
You know, in other words, not trying to do something fancy or something like that. Do the Okinawan, you know, because the whole thing was you don't deviate from the Okinawan form. The Okinawan, you don't go commercial. Part of that, even with Takafuji, I used to work with him in his backyard.
Really?
And the common basic things that he had for training, it's like we had weights in the gym.
Okay.
And stuff like that. And remember I spoke of my little weights about the bricks and everything in my yard that I used years ago as a teenager. Well, Takafuji had the same thing in his backyard. He had a tree in his backyard. And in the tree, inside the tree, he had a big 2x4. And at the end of the 2x4, he had shaved down to like a hand, like a smaller grip. Well, he had a nail, the 2x4 was nailed into the tree. And it was on a swivel. 2x4 would go up and down the swivel. On the end of the 2x4 over here, he had a big hole and he had a cable running down through there with a bucket, with one of these little big 10-pound coffee can buckets.
Yeah. And
he filled with bricks or rocks or sand. And on this side, when he faced the tree, he would stand at the tree like it was like a block. And he pulled down. And he would pull down the bucket. Of course, the bucket was that's the power.
Like a counterweight.
Counterweight, exactly. Yeah. Counterweight, and then he would kick or block, whatever he did.
How about
and he'd come in this way, pow, kick.
Yeah.
Or you know, whatever. And then that was his thing. That was his move.
How about that?
And then he was the same movement. He had a little bit of a tree branch with a curve on it. Had a hook. I don't know where he got that branch from. There's a hook there like that. And he was inside crescent. Wow! Hook it, wham! Down. He was that same. They would go up and down. Wow! Like counterweight.
Wow!
And back the other way. Wow! And up and down. You know, that was his training system. He had makiwaras. He had 4 of them. One here, one here. Oh man, that guy, he was fantastic. He was fantastic in his backyard.
That's pretty cool.
In his backyard, yeah. Mm-hmm. And these things were the things that I really enjoyed, you know. And it wasn't, the training was just, I don't know. The training was just fantastic. And it was something that I knew that I had to get there because I knew there was no way I could do it here in the States. I mean, once I got here on land or whatever, I could do it. But on the ship, I couldn't do that on the ship. I couldn't do that at my house where I live in Japan because, you know.
Well, let me ask you this, kind of getting into that.
Yeah.
Going to the dojo that was off the base.
Yeah. Oh, that was good, yeah.
Can you share with us what was that like, the energy? What did it look like? How was it run? Whatever.
There's a different concept. Concept was that there was more discipline down there.
Really?
Even though Takafuji tried to, with the 4 Japanese we had on the base, I mean, because I think the Japanese that were on the base, they were families of American, and then there was Japanese wife, American father.
Gotcha.
They were, you know, like that. Their kids.
Yeah.
And then of course the other Americans, there was either one Marine, and then me and 3, 4, me and 4 of the sailors.
Okay.
So that was the class there, and then a couple of other guys. But down in the dojo downtown, all Japanese.
Okay.
Or one other American would come down there. Okay. Not too often, but it was all Japanese. Yeah. And the discipline was like more stricter.
Okay.
Strict discipline, strict moves. Everything was defined.
Okay.
Everything, you know, and you know, the discipline, I think, mainly is the main thing I went down there for, and the teaching of and the discipline with it that came along with it. That was the main
So
reason.
you sought out this discipline,
right? Oh yeah, yeah.
A lot of people want to avoid discipline.
Yeah, no, I saw discipline. I wanted to find out what it was like to be like Japanese guys. I mean, I wanted to be what they were. I wanted to do what they were doing, exactly what they were doing.
Okay.
But without being Japanese, of course, and not having the concept of exactly what they were thinking.
Yep.
Because I didn't speak the language, like that's the part I was really missing.
Okay.
But that part, some of that I was trying to get.
Okay.
You know, and so when you go down there, we get on a to call it taxi cabs, kamikaze. We call it kamikaze taxi.
Kamikaze.
We come out of the base, and I'll tell my wife, why are you going downtown? Because I want to go down and work out. You just got done working out. Come on, Ako boy, hi Ako. Where you going? And karate. Say here, and they know the dojo.
Okay.
Get down there, and of course the class is already in session.
Okay.
Because their class started when our class ended.
Gotcha. Okay.
See, so right down there.
So you went from one class.
Yeah, the other
to the other class.
Yeah.
Very good.
I get down there and jump around. Man, walking the door. You're going in uniform. And a lot of for a long time, a lot of people just look at where they're from. They see the crest. And they know I'm part of Okinawan Shoubukan.
Yep.
You know, so at first time they just kind of look at you and Japanese are always smiling.
Yeah.
They're always bowing, but smiling. You know what I mean? But after a while, you became just like everybody else. You walk in, hi. You know what I
Yeah.
Before they just go hi, and they just kind of look at you.
Yeah.
But now it's like hi, Dojos, you know, and we in and we start working. But mainly the discipline. The discipline and the I want to say organized discipline, I guess. I don't know how you would call it like that, but that's what I mean. Organized discipline was like, it was so in detail. Attention to detail was mainly the thing down there was what I got out of that mainly. On the base, it was good teaching on the base.
Yeah.
And like I said, Sensei, the old man, he didn't teach, he observed, he watched. Takafuji did the teaching.
Okay.
And
interesting concept.
Yeah, he did. But Takafuji was also a boozer.
Really?
He's a boozer. Yeah. And Sensei used to get mad at him because, couple.
Okay.
You know, because Sensei sent Takafuji home because Takafuji was kind of.
How about that? Pretty good.
He probably a little, and you can tell sometimes when he, because I can usually be smell the booze on his breath.
Yeah. Okay.
I can smell the booze on his breath, and when anytime he would come in, and if he was all right, Sensei would let him come in, even though he had a couple of drinks or whatever.
Keep talking.
You can tell that he wanted to use another American to demo. And that's when he used me one time as a demo, and I swear I could smell the stuff on this guy's breath. And I could look at it in his eyes. I could see his eyes blink a little bit.
You could just kind of tell.
And I'm saying, oh man, this guy's gonna slam me so hard. Why? Anyway, he would just slam me down, and then when he pick you back up, he go, he be laughing. He didn't speak English at all.
Takafuji didn't speak English at all.
Not at all.
Wow.
Yoriko was the translator for everybody.
She spoke English pretty good.
Really good. Yeah, really good. And she wrote English really well, very well too.
Really?
Yeah. And she, she would say, Takafuji said this, that, the other. And then we said, okay. And sometimes she was really nice. Really good. She used to come to me sometime, Mr. Picou-san, you're good. You're very good. I said, thank you. Hey. And she'd always tell you, well, she'd tell me anyway. I don't know. I'm pretty sure she said the same thing to the other people, the other students, and that how they were doing, how she felt about what they were doing, And I don't think she would say anything to someone who wasn't doing well, and tell them they were doing well, and if they weren't, So
just to make them feel good, right.
But she was definitely, man. She was.
Now I want to ask you a question about just the format of the class. Like you mentioned earlier, you remembered running in the streets with the classmates. So I'm just curious, you go to the class.
Yeah.
What was the format like? What did you do first? What did you do second? What did you do third?
Okay, we got in. Everyone got into the class. The main thing too, but you should mention that. The main thing is you are on time. No one comes in late.
Okay.
No one comes in late. You know, you come in late. Hey, buddy, that's push-ups.
Really?
Oh yeah, push-up time, buddy, on the side of the road. Knuckle.
Okay. How many? Do you remember like what they do?
Yeah, I think probably about 35 or 40 or something like that. Yep. You know, and everything. You know, and then you put you in the corner, let you stretch, and you get stretched because all this stuff is being done on the floor, but it's being done as a team.
You're doing it as a group.
As a group, team as a group. You know, but you after that, then we start stretching. We stretch one another. We stretch one another, and it's the reason. The funniest thing about it is the fact that I was not that loose. Okay. Had a lot of elasticity, as you go like back in those days. Even though I was smaller, younger, because I wasn't stretched out too well in the groin. Never had been that stretched. Now my sidekick was like so where everybody else is up there, and you stretch. You pay up with a Japanese guy. You stretch with a Japanese guy, right? And he is so limber and everything. You know, you get his leg, you stretch it. Remember the stretches you used to do?
Yeah, right? Wall stretches.
Yeah, wall stretches. Get a wall stretch. We used to do them without a guard against the wall. Mm-hmm. Staying out in the middle of the floor.
Yeah.
And he used to throw his leg up in the air like that. He pushed his leg, and he leg me way up here, and he'd be looking at him. He'd be laughing at you, you know. I mean, he's just like a rubber band. Yeah. You know what I mean? Well, with me, when it came time I turned, I was like, I was up there, but it was painful for me. You know, not strict pain, but it was painful. You know, so but you know, I worked to we did that, and then after stretching, and we did the back stretch.
Yes.
You know, we did the back stretch, right? And we had another stretch over there that I don't think I showed you guys. I might have at one time where we put your arms around the back side of your arm here, and then pull you over this way, stretch out that way.
Yep.
I think I showed you guys that maybe once or twice. Yeah. Stretch out one, yeah.
Yep.
Stretch out one way, and then from there, then we go into I can remember Sensei saying something to Takafuji or Yoriko, whoever was teaching the class. He'll say, okay, he rather out something. I couldn't remember what he was saying, but it meant do the forms.
Okay.
The forms, you know?
As a group again.
As a group. You know? By this time, the guy, whoever came in late, then you can get in. You know what I mean?
Gotcha.
And then, you know, we do exercise form. Very, very slow. Everything was slow. And this is what Sensei, I'm pretty sure what Sensei was observing. Everything. And the one who was in a hurry, you know, he was the one that he was looking at. You know, everybody saw it. Because a lot of new people come in there and they will say, well, why we got to go so slow? I don't know what's going on with their minds, you know.
Yeah.
I want to move a little faster. I feel that I have to move. I feel that I can move. Yes, you have to. You don't have to. And you can move, but you're not going to.
Yeah.
Move with the group. Move with the group, right? You know, you'll have a lot of time to move by yourself, buddy. Believe me, later on down the line, as you guys found out.
Yeah.
Oh, you have a lot of time doing it on your own.
Exactly.
When you do, and then you'll be graded on your how you move. See?
Correct.
Right. If you have that same concept, doing it by yourself as you did as a group, you'd be in much better shape. Mm-hmm. You know. So, but a lot of big, and this is things that he was watching. Yeah. This guy's in a hurry. You need to slow him down some kind of way, right?
Now, how long did the karate class last on the base versus out in town?
It's I would say 2.5 hours.
Okay.
2.5 hours.
That's unheard of today.
No, today no.
Right, you go anywhere here.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter where you go. The toys 45 minutes to an hour.
Yeah.
So what did you do?
Well, you know, when I told you guys, we stretched for almost an hour.
We did.
Or before we did anything else.
Yeah. Warm up. Yeah.
The warm up. Yeah, but in downtown, downtown was a different story. I mean, but after that, of course, we did the back stretch. We stretched each other's back, and then, but in between that, it was mostly at the beginning was breathing, and the control breathing, and the movement as you control. You know, and one foot moving together, one foot moving together, and then we do the opposite foot. Yeah. Together, shift over again. Mm-hmm. You know, it's not putting you in the same pattern all the time. You know, okay, if I got to do this, I have to do this. You know, you do different. Yeah. You know, and it was it was that. And then we got in. If Sensei had us in the katas, we get in the katas, but we weren't in. I wasn't in the katas for a long time.
Okay.
If it was exercise form, that was it, man. That was it. And and like he would say, like Sensei would say, or like Eureka would say, and I would tell you guys, if you're gonna do a form, exercise form, and you forgot where you need to move, stop until you come back to class again, because bad habits are hard to break, just like good habits. They're hard to break too. You want to break good habits, but bad habits are hard to break. You get to move in a certain way. I remember I used to give you guys a lot of forms, and especially with a new kata.
Yeah.
When I taught you a new kata,
Mm-hmm.
I said, okay, now you guys got this now. Keep working. Because we only worked that kata, if you remember. We worked that kata for weeks and weeks and weeks and months before we go to another one.
That's right. Over and over and over.
And another black guy. What was his name? He was married to a Spanish girl.
Wasn't Ray, was it?
No, Ray was married to a Spanish girl.
Ray, Calvin.
Calvin.
Okay.
He was Pinyon 2, I think it was.
Okay.
Pinyon 2. I guess I get to the point where I can't remember them too much anyway. But anyway, I watched him, I sit and watched him. Watch him. And everybody was sitting around, because you remember we used to have you guys do it.
Yeah.
One at a time. Everybody sitting down and looking. People laughing around, smiling. And I look, hey, look at it. And they stop laughing,
Yeah.
And let them do it. And I said, okay. He stopped and said, I said, okay, well, what do you think of that kata? What do you think of that kata? Was it good? No. Sensei, was it good? No. What did you do? Did he do something wrong? How many times was he wrong? Oh, 4 or 5. And he's going, 4 or 5. No, I wasn't. No. Yeah, it might have been 6.
How about that?
I said, what did I tell you before? He said, this is the way I've been doing this. I said, you have been doing this what? How long? For the last night and yesterday? I said, what did I tell you? If you start doing the kata and you're really not sure on the next move, you stop. Don't do it. Don't move it. Come back to class the next day, and if you get me all one-on-one, regardless of where I am, as long as I'm not in the store with groceries in my hand, you say, Sensei, is this right? I'm going to say, no, it's not right. You do it this way, right? And you'd be surprised, man. I was asked this in the exchange. Sensei, when I see you outside, okay? We get outside. I said, okay, I'll be in uniform. Yeah. And they'll be the kids or in uniform. Yeah. Okay, they're moving. I said, no, it's not right. And sometimes people walk by looking at us like, what's the matter with these two fools? Or whatever, and I would teach them right on the spot. Yeah. Right on the spot. Yep.
Pretty wild.
Yeah. And then I say, because if you start doing it wrong, you start doing it kind of wrong, it's going to stay with you. Yeah. And if it's done wrong for a long length of time, it's going to be hard for you to break that bad habit. Yeah. Hard for you to break that bad habit, right? And it's just not going to be right, But, yeah.
So you'd go to the class off days, and it's 2 to 2.5 hours long, and you're doing the class on base. So you just were consumed with this desire to learn.
I am very much so. And the thing about it, you got you got the sensei, you got the old man sitting on the side. He's not teaching. Yeah, he's not teaching. The idea of going downtown was that Takafuji was the only energy source, put it that way, that we can draw from the karate in that class on the base. Interesting. He's the only energy source, the only one with the knowledge.
How about that?
See, Yoriko had the knowledge, but she was a young girl. Yeah, Yoriko was about my age at the time, I guess. Yeah. Well, maybe a year or two older. Okay. See, but so what knowledge she had that she brought was good. But it wasn't that knowledge, that really strength. Yeah. That really, without saying that, forceful knowledge.
I got it, yeah.
Not forceful, but it's strong knowledge. Yeah. Takafuji was all we had. Wow. Because he was older, and he was. So when we get downtown, it was all over. It was everywhere. Downtown, you had black belts. Wow. Everywhere. You had a class of 18, 20 students. Okay. You may have had maybe 3 or 4 green belts. Wow. A couple of brown belts. Everybody else was black belts. You know, everybody else was black belts.
Wow.
And the main thing about it, you walk around black belts correcting black belts. And what they were doing, they were correcting, the ones that were more experienced. They were collecting these guys, correcting them.
Yeah.
I don't know, you couldn't understand what they were saying, but you could understand the action. You don't do that way you do, and that's where the knowledge came in. You had so much more knowledge down there.
Wow.
Than in on the base.
Now, two separate questions. I don't know, being a karate student, say just you being a student, not a teacher yet, but even if you're a black belt and you're still a student.
Yeah, I'm still a student,
Let's say from white belt to black belt, you're a student. What did you get out of your karate training while you were a student? What did it do for you in your personal life, your work life?
Positive thinking. Positive thinking. Positive thinking was one of the main things I got for, to think positive on anything I wanted to do, Okay, as a student, right? I followed a positive thinking role and doing what was, I guess you might say, what is right, rather than doing something mediocre.
Okay.
In other words, positive thinking and doing the correct move and in kata or in a breathing exercise and positive thing. As a student, I felt just like I was in a hurry too in a way. I had to slow myself down. Yeah, as a student, I had to slow myself down because I was in a hurry. I wanted to learn everything. Because believe me or not, when I say this is the honest truth, in the back of my mind is, come on, Joe, you got to learn because you're not going to be in Japan all the time.
Wow.
You're gonna leave here.
So you put pressure on yourself.
Yeah, you're gonna leave. That's why going downtown was the thing, because that's why I had all the knowledge there. Like I say, Takafuji was just the one source of knowledge we had there.
Mm-hmm.
Down there, I had more, and I didn't speak the language. Anyway, it was
Now flip that. Now you are stationed at all these different places. Rhoda, Italy, back to Rhoda.
And a class everywhere I went.
What did you get out of your karate from being a teacher? That perspective. What did you get out of being a teacher? Or what did your karate give you? What did you learn from being a teacher?
From being a teacher, from being an instructor, it taught me, it's like with my Navy career, it's the same thing. You have so many different walks of life and people that you teach, that you taught. And I got a lot of things from each one of them.
Okay.
The way that custom of this guy, Chinese or Filipino guy is, you have to learn their custom a little bit in order to teach yours, implement your custom in my teaching to them.
Yep.
And to make sure that they understood exactly how it was done in the Okinawa. That's why when you're going to teach one system like Okinawan Shoubukan, and doing that, you don't want to deviate from that. That's a really, really, really hard way to do. It's a hard thing to do. To a custom of, say, Chinese or not much Japanese, but Filipino or even American. Mm-hmm. And mainly American was harder to teach because they can read. A lot of American guys can't figure out, well, why do I have to do this where I can do this? You know what I mean? You understand what I'm saying? So
I get it.
So it's hard to say why. The reason is because and it's kind of rough. It was really, really hard teaching Americans.
Interesting.
It was hard teaching Americans, but so you have to try to get them in the same frame of mind as I am, or close to it.
Yeah. So what did you learn from being a teacher? I
learned the fact that you have to be very patient.
Okay.
Very patient.
Okay.
And you have to. There's no anger there. I mean, any anger that I ever felt against not against, but any anger I ever felt to any of my students or anybody else that I work with was always like, okay, he's new. This is my thoughts. He's new. He's young, or he's set in old ways if he's an older guy, or even if he's a younger guy.
Gotcha.
He's set some ways which has to change, and it will change. They will change if he's going to accept what I bring. Yeah. It's going to change.
That's where the patience comes in.
That's where the patience come in. You know, and that's one of the things. And then along with that, you have to have some a little bit of comics every now and then. I mean, you got to be funny a little bit.
Yeah.
You can't. You can be strict all the time, but you can be a little funny every now and then. But that, I mean, you might say, okay, all right, you guys, I want everybody to line up here. I did that to you guys. Maybe I don't think you were with us then. He might have been. Did every time you get you guys to put your foot up on the wall, and reach over here and grab your big toe with his hand. Every time I do that.
I think I remember that. I remember.
And
a little comedy relief, right?
Yeah. And you know what? Jeannie, she's a gymnast. And she don't go near did it,
How about that?
She don't, but she was a genius. You remember how flexible she was, right? And she was strong. She was strong. And then everybody will, especially the other guy, Sensei, I can't do that. I said, what did I tell you about the words I can't? Remember? I used to tell you that. Don't tell me you can't. It's difficult. Don't tell me you can't. Yeah. What are you gonna do? We're gonna try, Sensei. Okay. And then, boom, people were falling down and everything. And I was just over there with my hand over my mouth, just laughing. I was laughing because I know you could. Well, it's hard to do. Yeah. Almost impossible.
That's pretty good.
But anyway, that type of thing,
Yeah.
And then, then from there it was continue to work and work and work and practice. Get more and more into perfection.
Yeah.
You may not ever be super perfect at everything you do, but you're going to be closer to it as more as you do it, and you do it in the right way. And don't deviate from what you're being taught. What I'm teaching you, don't deviate. I don't. All my years in the karate, it's always been Okinawan Shoubukan. Nothing else. I mean, right? A lot of people will say, well, okay, I can do this move here, but I can take a shortcut from that. Well, you're not doing the same thing we do in Okinawa. So you're not doing what we do.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And that's my whole thing with it. I mean, I'm from the old school.
That's pretty cool.
The old school.